Studying behavior in invertebrates, Sow Bugs. Invertebrates are animals that lack backbones, do not possess a vertebral column. They are about 98% of all animals. They are found in different environments, from cold and unbearable regions to equally hot regions, even though the complex nervous systems are major impediments to their adaptation to varied regions. Invertebrates have different shapes and colors. They have 8 key categories. The groups include arthropods, sponges, cnidarians, echinoderms, mollusks, roundworms or nematodes, flatworms, and segmented worms. The body temperatures of invertebrates are subject to the degree of coldness or hotness of their surroundings. They are cold-blooded animals. With the high percentage of invertebrates, scientists are finding new species daily. From a worldwide perspective, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, in 2009 identified over 1.4 million invertebrates. Sow bugs, Porcellio and Oniscus species, are crustaceans, which fall under a major group known as arthropods. Under the arthropods, there are spiders, insects, and crustaceans. They are not insects. Arthropod refers to living organisms with connected limbs on continually subdivided anatomy. Apart from having equal feet, pods, the sow bugs have jointed limbs that are attached to a hard-armored exoskeleton. These creatures have oval bodies from a posterior view. They have several coinciding articulating plates on their backs. Just like insects, this example of crustaceans has 3 body parts: thorax, head, and abdomen. Other identifying features include 7 pairs of legs, 1 protuberant pair of antennae, a pair of appendages referred to as uropods at the end of the abdomen, and simple eyes. Sow bugs have varied colors, ranging from white to dark gray. Notably, the colors may vary with or without specific patterns. Sow bugs' antennas are always half the measurement of their anatomies and grow to approximately 15 mm long and 8 mm wide. The adult female sow bugs have blossoming extensions underneath their limbs. They help in holding developing embryos and eggs. Sow bugs use their mouthparts to rasp and chew food. This example of crustaceans does not like daylight, and, therefore, during such times, they stay in damp, dark habitats like leaf litter, logs, and underneath stones. They are scavengers or omnivores that feed on dead animals and plants. Some sow bugs eat live plants and have close relations to shrimp, crabs, and lobsters. They are also food for amphibians and reptiles. In their movements, they improve the conditions of soil to a minimal degree by recycling nutrients. Apart from living in moist outdoor regions, they can find their way into houses. All crustaceans, except sow bugs and pillbugs, live their entire life in oceans. Sow bugs live on land. The members of the Crustacea class live in damp basements. In case of a shortage of moisture, these crustaceans perish. Therefore, eradicating moisture from key places in a house is a key prevention method. Plastic vapor barriers, as well as ventilation openings, help in reducing moisture in crawl crevices and cracks. A dehumidifier or an air conditioner can help in controlling moisture in living basements. The male sow bugs procreate through parthenogenesis. They are always encompassed in the hatching of offspring. The eggs take from 1 to 2 months before brooding out. The female sow bug keeps the 24 offspring in their pouches for 3 to 9 days. Upon leaving the pouch, the immature sow bugs molt for around 4 to 5 days at consistent interludes till they mature sexually. The pouch has plates in its basement. The female can have 2 to 3 broods annually. The juveniles reach sexual maturity in a year. They have a lifespan of 2 years. The molting process takes place in 2 distinct stages, given that a sow bug sheds half its skin at any given time. At the initiation stage, the shedding of the back half of a sow bug takes place after the middle splitting of the membrane. After some days, the front half is shed. During molting, young sow bugs are extremely helpless. They repeatedly separate themselves from the adults during the flaking periods. Sow bugs breathe with gills and mostly stay in highly humid regions. Decomposing organic materials such as grass clippings and mulch are the main source of food for this group of invertebrates. According to Powell, they feed on the microorganisms and spore-producing organisms that are common in decaying and lifeless plants and animals. Their movement at night makes others nocturnal. Since the sow bugs are non-locomotive during the day, the night remains the best time for them to scheme out and feed on bedding and seedlings, plants, roots and stems of vegetable transplants, animal and plant debris, as well as on tender foliage. The blemished and deformed cucumbers lay on the ground on farms. When they munch on the bacteria and molds that invade the rootstock planes of orchids, destruction occurs. In the process of eating their favorite foods, a proportional amount of roots of orchids and other plants are chewed up. From their destructive nature, they can be a nuisance when they feed on tender plant tissues on indoor ventures. Even with their destructive nature, they are medically harmless. Since sow bugs are cold-blooded creatures, the temperature of their body depends on their surroundings. With their survival nature preferring damp locations, sow bugs survive best in an ideal temperature of between 68 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, normal room temperature. They die very quickly in the absence of moisture. This makes house environments unfavorable regions for them and Pillbugs. If they infest a house in large numbers, diatomic earth dust or boric acid, as well as pyrethrins, can be used in the living areas. Even with the high number of infestations, sow bugs do not transmit diseases, sting, bite, or infest wood, clothing, or food. The presence of these crustaceans is merely a nuisance. According to Powell, a combination of control methods and preventive methods is more effective and lifelong. Removing debris in specific areas and elevating immovable objects off the ground are other long-term approaches to controlling sow bugs. Stones, heavily accumulated mulch, grass clippings, boards, and leaves laying near the foundation are major debris that provides sow bugs with proper hiding places. The provision of ample ventilation and polyethylene soil shields are the key ways to reducing humidity in crawl spaces.